First of all, I went to starter code, got a npm install before I do anything else. And what we want to do is we're going to have a JSON. This doesn't really have very detailed instructions, but basically we want it to do this. We're going to have a JSON file full of a bunch of countries. They all got a bunch of info. We want to put a list of countries and just show their name and their flag. And then we want that to be a nav bar. Even though it's vertical and it's on the side, it's really just a nav bar. So this is going to go in app.js, and this is going to go, I'm going to make another component called country details and put that in there. And we're going to need to install the router. It's really definitely possible to do this particular assignment without a router. You could just, depending on which one you click, you could put an on-click function and just pass all the props into a component that you put here, which would probably be way easier. But we're trying to get some practice for routing because it is in a bigger app a lot. I mean, as much as a one-page application is cool, it gets pretty boring if you only have one single page, and it's not always practical to do everything on one page. So you definitely, in real life, almost never is a whole web app just one page. Usually at least a couple, and especially the ones that we're going to make here. So we're going to do it this way, which might be a little bit harder than it needs to be, but we're gonna learn routing and params most importantly. But in order to use any routing, first we got to install the router. So as soon as this finishes, I'm gonna npm install React Router DOM. There we go. npm install React Router DOM, and here I'm going to open this up in VS Code. And then also, once this thing finishes installing, I'm going to start up our server and let's look at the app, what we get to start off with. But again, here in the source file, we got countries.json, and that's going to be basically like our database. Well, I know the first thing I'm going to need to do here, let's get rid of all this stuff. We don't need the logo, and we can import all the countries, you can call it whatever you want, from /countries.json. See what we got to start out with. Hello. I'll put that so I know what to look for. What's going on? There it is. Hello. Okay, cool. So, obviously, instead of hello, what I want is, whoa, what is that? I want to start by making a list of all the countries. So I'm going to change this app from a function to a class component. Extends React.component. And it's possible to do this as a functional component. But again, since I'm practicing, I want this to be like practice for when we use an API. If you go grab a bunch of stuff from an API, it's better to hold it in your state rather than holding it in a static place that's not your state. Anyway, here, constructor props, super props, this dot state, and then here we're gonna get all the countries. Oh, there it is. We're gonna get all the countries, and then I'll call it countries equal to all the countries. And I'm going to make a function to show my countries. So show countries equals function. And here we will return, we will return this.state.countries.map each C. And what we want to return for each country is a div where inside of it, what do we want? We want it to be like this. So inside the div, each div, we want the name of the country and the flag. And then hopefully we also want it to be a link. But we'll leave that for like half a minute from now. So in here, I'll be like each c.name.common. And how do I know it's .name.common? Because I've done this particular lab like 10 times. But if you look, this is one particular country, right? That particular country .name is not a value. It is yet, well, it's not a string. It is yet another object. So if you want to grab the name, it's that thing .name.common or .official. Either one. For most of them is the same. Not for all of them, though. Aruba's the same. Well, that's too many commons. Well, anyway, just take my word for it. Not all of them are the same, but most of them are. But the one that, if you want to get a normal country type of name that you're used to calling it, call it name.common. And then the other thing is, if you look through here, there's a flag. See this? If you just put that on the page, it's a flag. It's not an image. It's not a source to an image. It's just like a little magical thing. I don't really know how this works. Yeah, I don't really know how that works. But anyway, if you just say country.flag, it should just show up. Unless you have Windows, in which case, I don't know what you do. It's like an emoji, yeah. It's like that. Each c.flag. Let's check it out. Let's see if this works. Show country. Oh, I got to interpolate. Show. Oh, and it's called this dot show countries. Let's take a look. Boom, all the countries and their flags. Cool. So, yeah, I'm not going to be doing too much CSS on this, but what I am going to do is this. This div, well, here, we're going to put a div inside here, because I do want the thing on the left side, thing on the right side type of thing. So this thing, we're going to say style equals width 40%, float left. And then after that, we're going to have another div, and this div style is going to be width 40% and float right. And if I put this is div in here, hopefully I see that right here. Beautiful. Okay, so I'm going to try to get this component here and have it show stuff, but I'm going to do it with the router. So I already installed React Router DOM. So what I need to do is go in index.js, and I got to import browser router from React Router DOM, and I'm going to put my app in a browser router tag. Browser router. Okay. Then here, I'm gonna import a bunch of stuff from React Router DOM. I'm gonna import switch because I need a switch. Actually, I don't really need a switch. Whatever. I'll use a switch. I definitely need a route, and I need a link. And that's all I can think of right now, but maybe we need more. React Router DOM. Okay, so each of these divs here, what we're gonna do is we're gonna put a link in there. Link. And these two things by the link. And the link to equals slash. Wait, how do I do this? It's like oh, there, like this, and then slash plus. What I need is each c dot cca3. I think it's CCA3. Let me just go check in here real quick. Yeah, each country dot CCA3. You can really use any of those things. They're all unique. I don't really know why. Does it? I think it says somewhere in here that you're supposed to use CCA3. But anyway, the CCA3 is like the official international abbreviation for that country. So that's what we'll use. You could use the name, but the name is, well, this name's not ugly because it doesn't have a space. But if you're looking at, like United States of America, then you got spaces in the name, and then that's super ugly to deal with in the URL. So we'll just go with these CCA3 codes. Plus, it'll make it easier. The borders thing will be easier this way. So anyway, let's see if that works. I should just go here. It shouldn't work. It shouldn't do anything, but it should send me to this location. That one takes me to /AIA. That one takes me to ABW. That one takes me to /ATF. That one takes me to /ARG. Perfect. Works. So now I need something to actually happen when I go to /CCW or /ARG. So in this div that's floating right is where I'm going to put my routes. Because the cool thing about React is you can put your routes wherever you want. So I'm going to put a switch here. And in my switch, I'm going to put a route. And in the route, I'm going to do exact path equals / colon, I don't know, I'll call it code. Why not? And then here, I'm not going to do the render thing because I'm not going to pass props. Oh, wait, I am going to pass props. I do need to pass props. I am going to do the render thing. So the render thing, I think, is like this. Render equals, and then we interpolate. And in the interpolation, we do an anonymous function that renders some component which I haven't made yet. I think that's what it's supposed to look like. I may have to check my other example. But anyway, let's make that component so we can test if that works. So in here, new folder, components, and components, new file, country details. Import React from React function country details. And this one doesn't need a state. So I'm going to be making anything that can, from now on, anything that can be a functional component, I'm going to make it a functional component. And remember, with the functional component, you got to put props there, and we will return a div that says this is country details. And we're going to import that component right here. Import country details from there. Let's see if I got that right or no. What? Oh, right, because I called it some component down here. Country Oh yeah, I screwed up the syntax. What is it? Oh, I know that this one goes outside of there, in between that one and that one. So maybe, no. How could that be? Can't be that. Hold on, gotta look at the example from the other day. Where is that? That's here. It's taken a really long time. Wow. Well, I also have it here. Routing lesson. We're back. Let me grab this render thingamajiggy. I'll just steal it like I always do. The difference is if you need to pass props, you need to call render instead of component. All right. I'm never going to learn how to do this route with the render thing from scratch. It's never going to happen. Okay. Render equals, and you do the interpolation, and then a parentheses, and then a fat arrow, and then curly brace. No, and then no curly brace. That's the difference. No curly brace. And that? Is that right? Yeah, okay, that's it. So that's me passing. That's me doing render for no reason because right now I'm not passing in props, but I am going to pass props in just a second. I just want to see if this thing actually showed up. So it does. So now let's pass in props and get it to actually show the details of the country. So first of all, I'm going to put props right here, and then when I am calling this thing, let's put this there. I usually pass props in. First thing I'm going to do is ... props because, who remembers why? Anybody? What? What are these? What are these? What am I doing here? What are these ... props? Oh, you literally can't see it. Oh. That's so annoying. Okay, hold on. Let me just switch it to the other mode. Okay, we're back. All right. These props here. When I pass in ... props, who remembers what that is? Yeah, but why do I do that? Yeah, exactly. All the magical props, match, params, history, location. That's what I'm passing in here. These are not my props. They're the magical props that you get just because by being in a route thing, you get a bunch of magical props. And so that is so that they don't get lost going down the stream. Then I'm going to pass in my own prop. If I don't put this here, then yeah, then I could do history equal to props.history, and then also location equal to props.location. One thing at a time, but I need so many things. So just all the magical. And some of them I don't even know. Like I know I'm going to use match and history, but I don't even know. Some of them probably get used for all kinds of things that I don't even know what they get used for. So that takes all the magical props, passes them down, and then the prop that I want to pass, that's my prop that I'm making up, is let's call it bunch countries equal to this dot state dot countries. Okay, so in country details, we should have all those props. We should have a bunch of countries. So I'm just going to console log props in the country details component. And here we're not going to see it because country details component is not on the page yet. The annoying error. Hold on. That error, to do it with no thinking, do Command F, look for map, find your map, add a thing, and then the div inside key equals that thing. Okay. No thinking. Okay, so we don't see props because that component's not on the page yet, but if I click one of these things, supposedly that thing will be there, and now we see all these props, and we got history, and we got location, and perhaps most importantly, we got a bunch of countries. And it's just an array of 250 objects of countries. So the other thing I have is match.params.code, which is ARM, which is also this country's CCA3. So in here, I'm going to find my country before I render anything. I'm going to go, okay, well, const the code equals props.match.params.code. Let's see if I got that. What? What did I do? Oh, params. Okay. Huge explosion. Still no. Code is not defined. Oh, I called it the code. Duh. Okay, here we go. There it is. Code is ARM. Click this one. Code is ASM, which it is. Click this one. Code is ALA, which it is. I'm already pretty convinced, but I'm going to try it with one more. There, you are alive. So, in here, I have all the countries, and I also have the code of this country. So, with that, I have JavaScript also, so I should be able to find that country. So I'm going to be like const the actual country equals props.bunchofcountries.find. What does .find do? It does the exact same thing as .filter. .find does the exact same thing as .filter with the same syntax, except instead of giving you back an array of matches, it gives you one single match. If there are two matches, it gives you the first one. It works just like .find in Mongoose. Right? Actually, wait, no, it works the opposite, not like .find. It works like .find1 in Mongoose. Find one. So anyway, here, this is each country, and I'm just gonna return each country .cca3 equals the code. And then after that, I'm gonna console log the actual country. Let's see. Okay, if I go to Bahamas, this is the actual country. And if we look at name, that's Bahamas. We got it. And if I click Switzerland, then this is the actual country. And if we look at name, Switzerland, there it is. So at this point, to show the info, it's as easy as I got this thing called the actual country. All I got to do is change this div so that instead of just showing a random message that I put there, I'm going to show a bunch of stuff about the country. What do we want to show? We want to show their Name, capital, area, borders. Name, capital, area, borders. Okay. Let's go with an H2. And in the H2, we do the actual country dot name dot common. By the way, if you do dot name, the error that you get is this error. Memorize this error. Objects are not valid as React child. That means the thing that you're putting, you need one more dot. The thing that the dot name is not a thing that you can read. It's an object, and you're not allowed to put that. So dot name dot common clears that up. Okay, we got there. Let's get what else is it? Capital, area, and borders. Capital, area, borders. Capital, area, borders. Okay, we'll do an H5. We'll put the word capital, and we'll do the actual country dot. I have no idea if that's a thing. I didn't look at the data. It's not. Oh wait, it is. The actual country, and it's with an A, the capital. Am I just wrong about how capital is spelled? Is that? I mean, but is it the word I'm looking for? Or is it like a different? Is that like a capital offense or something? Okay. Capital offense. It's close. Okay, so I have no idea what the capital of Switzerland is. So let's look at Argentina. I know the capital of Argentina. Okay, cool. So capital works. Now we want area and borders. So here, where's area? Where is that? Is it just dot area? No borders on some of them if they're an island, I guess. Where? Here, I guess I should Command F it. Oh, okay. Dot area. Cool. Wait, but it says 180. What does that mean? That looks really small. Oh, okay. I was looking at a small island. So what that means, kilometers squared? Is that what that means? Okay, kilometers squared. So I'm going to do in here, I'm going to put a p tag, area, and have it say the actual country dot area, km, and then there's a tag for this. I don't remember the tag. Superscript tag HTML. Sub. Yes, I should definitely remember that. Are you kidding me? It's called sub. So here, km, and then sub, and then 2 in there. And then it should look like this. Coolsies. It should change pretty easily, depending. Sweet. It's working. Now the hardest part is the borders. Not showing them necessarily. Showing them is not that hard. So here, let's make a function. I don't want to have a loop inside my return. Hate having logic inside of a return function. Then you get into parenthesesception. You have like 12 parentheses. So I'll go show borders. Oh, sorry, we're inside of a functional component, so I got to go const show borders equals function. And in here we will return the actual country dot borders dot map. And for each one, we will return a little div with a link in it. And in the link, it will say each border. It'll say each border. Each border. And we can do 2 equals this, that, plus each border. And then we got to show it. So here, show, oh wait, sorry, this, show borders. All right, let's see if it exploded or anything. It did explode. Link is not defined, and that is because I need to import link from React router. Why isn't that? Oh, FOM. There. Oh, Australia has no borders. That's true. That's a good point. Okay, there you go. Belgium has borders, and there they are. And because let's take a look at these. Why can I just do each border and just show each border like that? Because each border is not an object. Each border it's an array of CCA3 codes. So it's not that hard right now. This is like, I would say, if you get this, this is good. This is all you really need for this assignment. This totally works. You can play a get back to a certain country game by only clicking borders. Like, let's see, can we get to Russia? What's east of Germany? Is France east of Germany? Oh yeah, there we go, Poland. Oh yeah, easy. That was too easy. Straight to Russia. From Russia, can we get to Spain? Let's go back to Poland. Let's go to here. Let's go to France and Spain. Cool. Anyway, so the cool thing that they wanted you to do to be all fancy is to show the actual names of these countries here. Now that is kind of a pain, but what should we do? Let's see. I have this function here called show borders. I guess what I'm going to have to do is for each one, I'm going to have to go find that thing's name somehow. And what function? This one? Yeah, I mean, that is what I'm going to do. I'm going to do this same thing, but inside of here, so that instead of each border, I'm going to show something else. So for show borders, we're going to return each country.borders.map. But before we map it into some HTML, what we're going to do is, because right now we're inside the loop, so we got each border. So right now each border is a CCA3 code. So what I can do is I can use this same thing basically again. Const border country equals props.bunchofcountries.find each country, return each country.cca3 equals each border. It's actually really not nearly as much of a pain as I thought it was going to be, because now you just go here. It's going to be border country.name.common. And you might think that, I mean, well, I don't know if you think this, but this render function, well, there is no render function, I mean, because it's a functional component. The whole component is a function that runs a lot. This function will run many times. Every time I, click a different link or refresh the page or whatever, it's going to run. It's going to run more than once, actually. It's going to run once, and then it's going to run again because render function runs again. We're going to talk about that, about the lifecycle components. But this is not, you might think that this is like a lot of work to put your computer through. But that's actually the point of React, because the whole reason that it was invented was because Facebook wanted to limit the number of requests to their server. They have servers, and they had the largest growing app in the history of the universe, and they needed to figure out how can we make servers that can handle this huge load. There's like millions of API requests happening every second. What do we do? And instead of getting more and more fancy servers, what they did was they figured out how to just make fewer requests. And the way you make fewer requests is like this. In this whole situation, let's pretend that this JSON file is an API. We're only hitting the API one time right here in the constructor of app.js. So the constructor of app component only runs one time in the whole time that the app exists. Like from the time you load it up to the end of your user experience, this constructor function in your app component only runs one time. Therefore, you only hit the server one time. So doing a map with a .find inside of it, it is actually a loop inside of a loop, which we could definitely figure out a better way to do it that would be more efficient. But you're going to see it's really not that big of a deal. 250 countries, your computer can do a loop, a double 250 loop, like so fast. No noticeable change in the performance, and in fact, it's still way faster than Express making actual requests, because in a web application, the thing about the part where computer science and web dev like don't really go together as much as other types of dev is when you realize that you can do all kinds of stuff to make your app run a millisecond faster, but none of it matters because the slowest part of your app is the part where you go and do a thing on the internet. You fetch something from an API. You get an image that's hosted remotely. You fetch a style sheet from a CDN. Anything like that takes an undetermined amount of time. It might take like half a second. It might take like 3 seconds. You know, the other like earlier I went to Git. Yeah, it has to do with your connection. I went to GitHub. It went really fast just now. 30 minutes ago, it took forever. I had to stop it. So you don't know how long that's going to take. So the fewer of those you can do, the better. And so since I got all the information right here on my computer, it's a little bit more work for my computer, but it can totally do it. And it's going to end up making the, you can see the user experience is totally smooth. Okay, that's it. That's it for this one.